I want to show you guys this story from the Daily News because it's kind of silly, but it's also kind of freaky. Hardee's seizes on Mike Lindell's FBI drama to sell pillowy biscuits. No joke. The fast food chain, what is this? Hardee har. Thanks, Daily News. Mm-hmm. Fast food chain Hardee's seized on being included in the headlines about alleged confiscation of MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell's cell phone with an ad promoting something the bombastic businessman might enjoy. Now that you know we exist, you should really try our pillowy biscuits.
That's fair.
Lindell, a spirited conspiracy theorist who has worked tirelessly, blah, blah, blah. The point here is we're at the point where fast food chains are making memes of the collapse of our country to sell fast food.
Those biscuits are a little tasteless,
Yeah,
in
so
my
dry.
opinion. But I make jokes, references to gulags, just kind of being sensationalistic and hyperbolic. But am I that far away? I mean, where do you see the road ending with this? Because we see the groundwork being laid down by Hillary Clinton, by Joe Biden, by Kamala Harris, by Congressman Tim Ryan today, saying very hyperbolic statements against the MAGA Republicans. Where does this end? Because I think they just started, and I think they're just laying down the groundwork for something very serious that could be very dangerous for everyone.
The White House spokesperson said that if you disagree with them, you're an extremist.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah.
And they are trying to criminalize all political disagreement.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah.
I'm a happy warrior, and so I don't want us to all go out and jump out of the building here. I just think that but it is very, very serious without question. We are at a time where we've never been in this country. And I think if people don't take it seriously, which I think they are across the country, but I can guarantee you the Beltway doesn't understand what's going on. They don't understand the anger when you get out to this. I mean, look, you're not very far outside of
It's MAGA
of the
country out
swamp.
here.
And you can tell. I mean, people. I was at an event earlier tonight. I mean, people are scared. People are pissed, and that's what's happening. So you have essentially a split in this country. It's not so much red states, blue states. It's city states versus the rest of America. Mm-hmm. So it just depends. Like here in Maryland, it's a blue state largely because Baltimore, right? And the suburbs of Washington D.C. Everywhere else, red and getting redder. And the same thing is true in my part of California, where I'm from. I'm halfway between L.A. and San Francisco. So look, I want to be positive. I want to believe in the Constitution. But clearly. Look, I left Congress, not because I needed a new job and Trump didn't need a new company, but it's pretty bad when I got to leave Congress solely because I believe that the communications platforms are so broken that we have no way to get our message out. We can't even communicate with one another, and we're in the middle of a propaganda war that's destroying this country, where it's pushing city states moving hard left and everybody else moving hard right. And that hard and when I say hard right, meaning conservative, where they can't even communicate with one another, and we're constantly dealing with fake news
and censorship.
I don't even think it's moving hard right. I mean, my politics are basically in the same spot they've always been, except on Second Amendment. I think for a lot of people, especially people in my situation, it's that the left has just continually gone further and further left. Elon Musk posted that meme. You saw it, I'd imagine. Do you see this one? It's like left and right, and then years later, left and move. But he's staying in the same spot, and it's just moving further and further left. The left likes to use that and say, see, this proves it. If you still believe the same things you did 10 years ago, you are conservative. You're traditionalist. You're not progressive. That's their argument. So they're actually saying, yeah, we agree with that. You are now on the right. It has changed. But I got to tell you, man, what's really scary is I know people that I used to consider friends, and they've gone insane. They've actually gone insane. The things they believe every hoax from the media. They believe Jussie Smollett. Whoops, that was a hoax. They believe the Russiagate stuff. They believe hands up, don't shoot. They believe the Ahmaud Arbery story. They believe the Trayvon Martin stuff. They believed all of that. And even after all of that, the Covington Catholic kids, even after all of that is debunked and the media is shown, they still believe it. We know those stories are fake. They still believe the lies every day.
Right.
And they're full of anger is the crazy thing. The messages I see on Facebook, there's a few people I've known my whole life who still, they're very liberal, they're very anti-Trump, but they still talk to me and they still listen to me and they go, oh, wow, I didn't know that. And good friends. But I know some people that they've gone nuts. And I'm wondering if you guys have experienced the same thing, like people who've become totally just, I don't even want to say Trump derangement. It's like, it's right-wing derangement, but it's not even that. It's if you're outside of the cult, they just believe whatever they're told by the media.
Yeah. Well, maybe a good example for you is this. So when I was elected to Congress 2002, Bernie Sanders was in the House of Representatives. A lot of people forgot that he was actually a member of the House for a very long time. And I remember a lot of the first votes. I'd look up on the screen. There's always a lot of votes, and a lot of them are a lot of bills that get through. They don't always become law, but they're sometimes they're just messaging bills. But you would have something like baseball and apple pie, some feel good thing, and you'd look up on the screen and there'd be like 20 no votes. Like, okay, and then who are those people? And it would be Bernie Sanders and this hard left wing caucus. And it was constantly, they were like, equivalent of backbenchers like you would see in a parliamentary system where they just didn't have any friends. Nobody really took them serious. The Democrats laughed at them, right? Because at that point, I had friends on the other side of the aisle, people that I would talk to, and that's the crazy people, And now
they're in charge.
They're in charge. And there's not 20 that aren't, full-fledged Marxists in one way or another.
Wow.
Or at least they have to pretend that they are. And that's
Right.
really what this is. It's all about power. It's all about how do you get and keep and hold power. And that's what I saw during my time in Washington. And I got to the point where, like, when I knew we were in trouble, and I was one of the first guys to go to Parler, and I was one of the first guys to go to Rumble, because I caught the fake news and the social media companies shadow banning me. So I went to these new platforms and I realized quickly, like, man, I grew like followers like no tomorrow. And then of course Parler got nuked by big tech.
Yeah,
and
crazy.
And the rest is history.
How is that legal? It was collusion. It had to be some kind of, there's got to be some kind of antitrust action or something to stop this kind of collusion in the market.
Yeah, but then they went to court. I don't know where those cases are now, but you have to go. In many cases, they go to court in their home court. So even the court, this has even reached the courts.
But where's the DOJ and the FBI investigating this and subpoenaing and going in and confiscating cell phones and computers and laptops? Okay,
Yeah.
to build a case, to look for the crime,
Yeah. Well, look, it ultimately ends up with Supreme Court justices, something leaking unprecedented history, a decision pre-leaks out, right, that we still haven't got to the bottom of. And then they're out protesting and threatening Supreme Court justices' homes, which should be illegal.
When it comes from all the work you've done, who has more influence and power, the intelligence agencies or big tech social media? And do the intelligence agencies affect big tech social media?
So remember, the intelligence agencies aren't what is corrupt here. It is the people at the high echelons of the Democratic Party apparatus that are running those intelligence agencies, right? So they control all the levers of power. Does that make sense? It's the Democrats. And the Democrats are then sending messaging to the fake news, right? Because all the fake news, they'll come out, boom, one day, narratives out there over and over again, they pound away. And then,
but then what happened
it's
with
tough
Trump?
to tell with it. And then
but Trump was in office, and then the intelligence agencies were working against him. So
because he didn't control. No,
that's kind of
we have no power. I mean, when Republicans get in, they can't control it anymore. It's like it's because what happens is they put their people in, they burrow them in. Right.
But you're saying that the FBI, that these intelligence agencies, or at least parts of them, have gone rogue.
Well,
they've been recruited.
They don't answer to the commander in chief. Then they've basically gone rogue.
They've recruited and they promoted and retained people that fit a political narrative, that come from a certain type of school, that think a certain way, that reflect the woke agenda. And in this last Congress, we saw the Democrats trying to push that type of woke recruitment and ideological perspective throughout more of the intelligence agencies, mandating it.
And look, part of the reason why is it's hard to get, we talked about city-states a little bit ago. It's hard to get Republicans to say, boy, I'd really like to go make a career and live in Washington, D.C., and burrow myself in, get connected, go to the Brookings Institute, write reports, go work for Congress, become a lobbyist, and always working. I mean, Republicans, for the most part, don't want to do that, right? They want to live in rural Maryland, right? Or they want to live in rural America.
But just back to the question, who has more power and influence?
Well, I would say they're all one, I guess, is the short answer.
Yikes.
Yeah. No,
They're all kind of one.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. That's something I've been saying for years now, and a lot of people don't understand that there really isn't much of a difference when it comes to the decisions, the major ones that they make.
Well, now we're getting evidence in these lawsuits that the federal government was directing big tech to censor people they didn't like.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And it's been a cascade. We've gotten a little bit here, and now it's full swing. Now we've got emails where I think Alex Berenson, that's his name? That's a journalist, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Where they're like, "Why hasn't he been banned yet?" Twitter, and then Twitter's like, "Okay," and then he gets banned.
Dr.
Come
Fauci,
on, man.
Dr. Fauci parody accounts got hit because the White House demanded
right.
them to.
Wild.
That is absolutely crazy.
Hey, I think you guys, I might have heard you guys talking about this the other bit, but there's some, and this sounds ridiculous because, but I'm a, guy that's been in political business and now running True Social. So I'm not attuned to this stuff like you guys are, but I had never heard of this guy named Andrew Tate. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of the guy before, right? I mean, until like a few weeks ago. And how is it possible? It's very similar to the Parler thing, right? Where overnight Parler, boom, gets nuked by 30, 40 companies, right? They get canceled by everyone. Well, the same thing, I never heard of this Andrew Tate guy, but it's so odd that everybody canceled him. Like he got nuked from every platform within what, 48 hours?
Yep.
It's collusion.
Yeah.
They all live in the same area. They all work in the same area.
Yeah. Emails, processors, website, everything got taken away from him.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.